So I wanted to tell you something that I think is really, really, really cool. So receptor sites that use acetylcholine, there's a bunch of different receptors, but we're going to focus on just the two of them. There's two subtypes. One's called nicotinic and one's called muscarinic. And I'm sure that you've noticed that nicotinic kind of sounds like nicotine. And interestingly, it responds to acetylcholine and nicotine. And then muscarinic responds to acetylcholine and muscarine, which is in the hallucinogenic mushroom. So we have naturally occurring receptor sites for nicotine and for a hallucinogenic mushroom, which I find just completely wild. So listen to this. Over 400 people die in the United States each year from cigarette smoking, and 1 out of every 5 deaths is smoking related. Yet we all know people who seem to smoke like chimneys without any apparent negative effects on health. Comedian George Burns lived to be 100 years old in spite of his constant smoking of cigars. In fact, Burns' health deteriorated only after he sustained a head injury during a fall in his bathroom. In contrast, others, such as comedian Andy Kaufman, die from lung cancer without ever smoking. The answer to these discrepancies might lie in our genetic vulnerability to specific forms of cancer. Researchers have identified a gene that is involved with the development of nicotinic receptors that appears to play important roles in lung cancer and addiction to nicotine. One variant of the gene, found in half of those who have European ancestry, is strongly associated with increased risk of lung cancer. Smokers in general have about a 15% chance of developing lung cancer. Isn't that shocking? You'd think it would be more. Smokers with 1 copy of the gene variant have a 30% greater risk than smokers with no copies, and smokers with 2 copies increase their risk by 80%. Researchers disagree about whether the gene variant can cause lung cancer independently of smoking or simply predispose a person to be a smoker with the resulting increase in risk for lung cancer. Either way, it would be nice to know whether you have genetic variants that predispose you to nicotine addiction and lung cancer, allowing you to make informed choices for yourself and perhaps more important to your children. Isn't that cool?